Hi, Mariah.
Hi, Monique.
How are you today?
Doing really well. I'm getting to see somebody I haven't seen in so long, and I'm so happy to be here with her.
I know. Today is an exciting day because we get to bring back one of our mastermind participants who we haven't seen for a little bit, and we get to talk to her about business, transitioning into her ideal dream job. You and I we've been wanting to do this for so long. So it's a big day.
It is. It's so exciting to get to catch up with someone who we spent a lot of time with over the year that we were in the mastermind together, and to hear how things are going and to just applaud the success that's being had.
Yes.
They've been watching along on Instagram.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm really excited to welcome Cara Overland of Lake Superior Scandinavian, an adorable boutique selling the coolest earrings in Bayfield, Wisconsin, and online.
Yes.
And she's going to tell us all about the journey that she came from a world of hospitality into earring designer and entrepreneur. So
yes.
If that doesn't pique your interest, I don't know what will.
All right. Well, let's get started.
All right. Welcome to Heart and Soul, the podcast where we empower and inspire women to lead their best lives, harnessing the power of their hearts and souls. We are Mariah
and Monique,
your hosts and guides on this journey of self-discovery and personal growth.
In each episode, we will dive deep into topics that matter most to you, from self-love and confidence to career development, relationships, and everything in between. We believe that every woman has a unique strength and inner wisdom waiting to be unleashed.
Join us as we cover insightful heart and soul-centered topics and interview incredible women who've overcome challenges, chased their dreams, and found their true purpose. Through all of this, you will discover practical tips, strategies, and real-life stories to help you navigate life's twists and turns.
For whatever season of life you're in, this podcast is your safe space to explore, learn, grow, and possibly even laugh and cry with us. So grab your headphones, maybe your favorite drink, and we'll embark on this transformative journey together.
With heart, I'm Mariah.
And with soul, I'm Monique.
Yeah, so today we are so excited to bring our friend and one of our mastermind participants, Cara, to the show so she can talk to us a little bit about her journey. We feel like one of our goals with the podcast has been inspiring women to take the big leap and do the thing that they have been wanting to do or needing to do for a while. And you are a perfect example of how you did that. And you did it more than one time, and you continue to do it. And it's so inspiring to both of us. And so we really would love it if you could share your story with our audience and tell where this inner bravery maybe came from and why entrepreneurship and all of that.
And one thing we like to do, sort of tradition here when we have guests that we know, is we share sort of how we know each other or how we first met, kind of.
Yes, that's true.
Anecdotes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think about Cara, and this one is so clear for me. So
please share,
I can share first. So I first met Cara because she was looking to buy a business. She was knowing in her heart that she wanted to be a business owner, and I was selling a business. And so we happened to meet on that topic. However, what came out of it was now I knew Cara, and I knew that wasn't the business for her, but I then started following along in her journey and was just excited for everything she was doing. And from there, just literally as online friends, we connected about the mastermind, and she joined us. And now I just feel so lucky that you randomly reached out about buying a balloon company that I owned. And I'm so glad you did not go into balloons, but rather something that I love, earrings, and am now the proud owner of many, many pairs of your amazing creation. So that's my Cara story.
Yeah. Okay. I think that we first met at Wild Rice, right? Face to face, or do we meet before that? Well, we knew about each other.
So I think we have some friends in common.
Yes.
And I think I met you at one of your amazing sound bath healings.
Yeah. That was really,
which
really
I
sweet.
probably needed more at that time than I knew.
Yeah, no. But yeah, it was really interesting because you were working there.
I was.
At the time. And I teach classes there. And I felt like I knew you, but I had never actually met you face to face, right? We had emailed and we have so many friends in common. Like our lives kept circling, but never intersected until that point. And then when I met you, I was like, oh, of course this is her. She's amazing. I kind of fangirled out for a little bit. And then it ended up that you landed in our sphere and it worked for you and you to be in the mastermind. And that was just amazing to get to know you at such a deep level and to watch your growth and expansion. That was the most impressive thing to me. But it was cool when we met because you were at the sound bath and yeah.
So now we want to hear from you, Cara, about your entrepreneurial journey. And you can go as far back and as detailed as you like. But where we love to share is just, what were those steps along the way? What were those moments that, you figured it out that this is what you wanted to do? And we'll just ask you questions as we go, but we just want to know Cara's story.
Absolutely. So I grew up in Duluth, Minnesota, born and raised. Spent some time as a child down in the Twin Cities when my dad got transferred for a job, but that was only for a few years. And so I came back to Duluth and really feel like a true Duluthian. And when I came back after living in the Twin Cities myself after college, I did the fun couple of years down in Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Sure.
Had lots of fun. Made great friends. But decided to come back to Duluth. My parents were here. My sister was here. And I came back and I started working in hospitality. And I started working in hotels and worked at the Inn on Lake Superior, which I feel like I always say that's where I went to hospitality school. Even though I went to school, I went to hospitality school at the Inn on Lake Superior, where it was just, I learned from some of the best. The mentors that I had have taught me literally everything that I know.
Wow.
Hard skills, soft skills, everything. And so I launched into hospitality, and why I loved it is that I was around people all the time. I am an extrovert through and through. I always say I'm an extrovert, but I'm also somebody who needs alone time. So I'm an extrovert that needs to also go away for a little while. But anyways, that served me well in hospitality. And I spent 22 years, believe this or not, in the hospitality business.
Wow.
I did every position you can imagine, from answering phones to cleaning rooms to booking groups to coming to Duluth to HR, payroll, management, sales. I'm telling you every single thing. And that also served me well because I feel like I have just such a broad experience and background. And so long story short, that career in hospitality, 22 years, brought me to Bayfield, Wisconsin. And in 2021, in the midst of the COVID pandemic, when the whole world was shut down, I moved my entire family, which included my husband and at that time 5-year-old little boy, an hour and a half east to Bayfield. So a North Shore girl moved to the South Shore.
Which is a big deal going from Duluth to Bayfield because that is a dramatically smaller town.
Yeah, we're talking 85,000 people to 500.
Yeah.
And mostly busy in the summer.
Busy in the summer. But the truth is, I was looking for my next career in hospitality, and I was looking to level up in hospitality.
Yes.
And I found an amazing place called the Wild Rice Retreat that could fulfill both my hospitality background and then also what was
sort of cultivating at the time with a jewelry business, which we'll get to. And Wild Rice is all about art and self-care and well-being and all of those things. And I thought, oh my gosh, here's my dream. Still on Lake Superior, this amazing retreat center, lodging, which that my background in that served me well. And I moved. I took a huge leap of faith. Sold the house in Duluth. We bought a house in Bayfield, and there we were. And I loved that place.
Yeah.
However, within 6 months, I realized that at the chapter of life I was in, which was the mom of a young boy, was I didn't want to have to be on all the time anymore.
Which hospitality is that way.
It's 24/7.
Yes,
We do not shut down. This is not a bank.
Yes.
We do not close the doors at 5:00 and open back up at 8. I mean, it's constant. And that's what I love about it, is that it fills, no day is the same. It fills you with joy and all those things. But just at this time in my life, I really quickly realized, oh my gosh, this isn't for me. And it's not serving me. And I'm not serving what this amazing place should be. And so I did a brave thing. And I very respectfully stepped back and away. And that was hard to do.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
You
it was a
moved.
job. It was
Yeah.
a W-2 job. So
Yes.
entrepreneurs that are listening understand that there is security in health insurance that comes from a company and all of those things. But I had to do it. And I just felt that that was something that I needed to do. And I really trusted my gut instinct, which is something I always have. And I stepped back. Now, there was something else going on as well, not really behind the scenes, actually out in front of the scenes, but it was like a side hustle.
Yeah.
Something that I was just doing to be creative, and that was Lake Superior Scandinavian jewelry. Now, when COVID did happen, rewind again, 2020, I was actually laid off from a job because it was hospitality. Nobody was traveling. Nobody was doing anything. So for the first time in March of 2020, when the world was terrifying, and scary, and everybody was sheltering in place, I also lost my job, like so many other people in the world. And it was like a reset. And I'd worked every day since I was 16, and I thought, oh shit, what do I do now? Right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, not somebody who's like, I don't relax easy.
No.
It was, and so I took a breath, and I had always been sort of dreaming in the back of my head that maybe I would open a business someday, or I think I would be good at that. I had a lot of business acumen from managing hotels. And I also had another thing that was going on, which was I was allergic to jewelry.
Oh, interesting.
I had developed this allergy to what now I know is nickel.
Yeah.
And nickel is a highly allergic, cheap metal that is in a lot of jewelry. And so I had stopped wearing jewelry for at least a decade. And I was so jealous. I would look at women wearing these great earrings, and I was like, huh. And so I started researching since I had time to be at home, and realized quickly that it was likely nickel that I was allergic to. And so I ordered during COVID, when somebody could at least drop something off in the mail, at least still, ear hooks that didn't have nickel in them. And I walked around my house with just ear hooks in my ears, and they did not bother me. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I can be like all the other pretty girls and wear earrings. And so I started to make my own earrings. And now I look back and they were just, very simple. I was using beads and hoops and all that. And I just started to make them. And then when I did see friends, they would ask where I got them. And I said that I made them. And they said, will you make me a pair? And I said, sure. And then people started to offer me money and I started taking money. And so then I thought, oh my gosh, I better start a small business because I shouldn't be taking money
Right.
without starting a business. And so.
But you did have to pay for all the supplies too. So
I did.
right?
I needed some money back. Right. Yeah. I needed an ROI. And so I created this little company, which I named Lake Superior Scandinavian because I grew up on Lake Superior. And I'm Scandinavian. I'm Norwegian and Swedish and a little Finnish too. Some argue that Finns aren't Scandies, but I say we are.
I think you are.
So yeah, and so that's where the name came from. And I was delivering contactless earrings in my car with my little boy in a car seat in the back, and we would pull up to a mailbox, and I would put in their little gift in their mailbox and drive away and shoot them a message saying you have a package in your mailbox. And that was COVID. And I did that for a couple of years and it just kind of kept building.
Mhm.
I created a website, created an online store, and that's how people could order. And then started when the world did open up again, I started to do like small markets, and so grateful to some of the other makers like Bailey Builds, who had kicked off and was really gaining success and had the storefront out in West Duluth. I know she's just like blown up crazy now, but she would do this amazing thing where she would open it up her retail space for other makers to come in. And she was so sweet. I think she charged you like $40.
Oh, wow. Wow.
to table. And it was just to bring the community in.
Yeah.
And that really was an amazing stepping stone because even though I'm an extrovert and even though I'm like used to talking to people all the time through my job in hospitality, when you put something out into the world that you've made with your own hands, it's like you don't know how that's going to be received. And so I gained so much confidence with that. And so I started to do other markets. And in fact, I actually created our own market one year called the Hillside Makers Market.
I love it.
And we did that for like a year. And so anyways, I met so many other makers and was having success with it. And it wasn't until we moved to Bayfield and I did the really big scary thing, which was quit the W-2 job. I'm sorry to call it a W-2 job, but when you're an entrepreneur, it's a W-2 job. And I was driving down Rittenhouse Avenue, which is the main drag in downtown Bayfield. And there was a little for lease sign in a building. And I called the number, and Mike was on a business trip. I'll never forget, he wasn't home. And I called the number, and I went and met the guy who owns the building, and it was perfect. It was just this sweet, small, it's like a little cottage,
So
and it was
cute.
a perfect size for me. And I said, do not lease this to anybody else, but I have to talk to my husband about this one.
Right.
And I said, he's coming home tomorrow. Don't do anything. I'll,
I'm 99%
I'm
sure.
like 99.9% sure. And I brought it to Mike the next day, and he said, do it.
Oh.
I love
He has
that.
always been really, really supportive of this business. Mostly probably because it didn't take a lot of capital to get it started. I didn't take some big loan out or have to put anything up for collateral. I really just built it
It's a grassroots.
brick by brick.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that.
And so he calls this business lightning in a bottle. And it really has turned out to be lightning in a bottle. And so with the transition of leaving Wild Rice Retreat and moving to Bayfield and signing on the dotted line, I opened up this sweet little retail space in May of 2022.
Amazing.
And this is going to be 4 years.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Wow. That's huge.
I love how your story married a problem that you had that you figured out how to solve with the earrings and the allergy.
Mhm.
And then also filled the bucket of like the need to make something, the need to produce something. And everything just aligned to put you in the right place at the right time in front of that adorable little shop, which is so cute. And anyone now, if they go to Bayfield, like has to go there. This was your destiny. And through a winding path, you got there. But it's just so cool to hear it told. Like I know all those pieces, but to hear you just tell it like that, I think is so inspiring. It's like just keep following your heart. Keep following your gut. Know when it's time to step back. Know when the place that you're in life isn't serving you, but feed into something that is serving you. And I also can appreciate, because I felt the same way, that COVID gave us a minute to breathe. To breathe and be inspired by other ways of doing things, other ways of living and doing life. And I felt that same like rejuvenation out of it. It's amazing how we don't stop. We just grind. For 16 years, for 22 years, for whatever, you just grind and then realize you're grinding down the wrong path or that path is no longer serving you. What's the new path? And you're the example of someone who's done that.
Yeah. And I will say that I do not feel that grind anymore.
Right.
And I learned this so much from our mastermind that we did together, which I tell so many people about and grab my phone and send them the link. Okay, I'll text you the link. You got to do this. It's going to be amazing. But to work in your zone of genius.
Yes.
And that, and you guys may have to remind me, right? There's the zone before zone of genius when you're like really, you're good. You're really good.
Yeah.
You're really good at something, but it's not like you
could do it all day.
You could do it all day. You're
It's easy.
super good at it. It becomes easy. And that is that I was living and working in my zone of excellence for a really long time. And now I really truly feel like I'm in my zone of genius and I'm still able to feed that. I love working the store. I do have employees that work for me, but I would prefer to be there if I physically can.
Yes.
Because it fills me up as much as it fills anybody else up that comes in. If you walk into my store, it is, number one, you're going to hear some music. All summer it was Taylor Swift last summer.
Yes.
I would get into that store and I would crank my music on. But it's bright. It's colorful. It is total vibes.
I was telling you when you came in, it's like your shirt.
This is
on brand for you.
on
totally,
So beautiful, right?
Purposely picked this out because I knew that if anybody watches the podcast online, like I always watch the podcast online.
I love that.
That this is these are my vibes, and I see the world in color.
Yes.
And so the feedback that I get from people is the minute they walk in, they're like, "Oh my gosh, this is so cute. Oh my gosh, your rugs are so cute. Where'd you get them? Oh my God." I mean, it's not even always about the jewelry.
Right,
it's just about the feeling that people get when they walk in. And Bayfield is very interesting. So Monique may know about this because I know you spend some of your time in Bayfield.
I do, yeah.
But Bayfield, was established or something. I think it was 1860. I think the sign says when you pull in. I could be wrong on that, but
yeah, I'm not sure.
Mid 1800s. And the stores that are down there, many of the stores, not mine, sort of unfortunately, I always feel like, but are historic. And there are stories to be told in many of those buildings. And from some people that I know, and Monique, I don't know, I feel like you're in tune to some of this sometimes, but from some people I know who maybe are very in tune to things going on, that there's a lot of action happening in downtown Bayfield. And it is really positive energy.
Yes.
Oh, I love
it is
that.
also, as we all are, it's on native land.
Yes.
And you definitely feel that. And it is high vibes. One of my favorite stories. Can I tell you a quick story?
please
That's
do.
my
Yes,
favorite.
please.
So in Bayfield, there's a music venue called the Big Top Chautauqua.
Mm-hmm.
And in the wintertime, it's Mount Ashwa Bay. And that is our ski hill.
Mm-hmm.
And in the summertime, it is a music venue that attracts great artists. And a couple of years ago, it attracted one of the biggest stars in the world at the time. And who history is she's been coming for a long time.
Yes.
And it's one of her favorite places. But Brandi Carlile came. And Brandi was on a world tour that summer. Huge, big band. I think it was 2023. And she certainly did not need to come to Bayfield that year. She had sold out the XL Energy Center on Saturday night. And there was a show at the Big Top Chautauqua.
Which is a tent
It's
primarily outside for people who don't know what
Yeah.
it is. It's not a huge
No.
place.
No.
They put up this
Yeah.
really cool tent.
Yeah.
So it's not the
It's
Excel
like
Center.
indoor, outdoor. It is not the Excel Center. You drive up a ski hill to get there. It is super unique and cool. And she came on Sunday night and added a show on Monday night,
Yes.
in fact. And she just came with herself and her piano. She couldn't have fit her big band.
Oh
She
my
could not have fit her
God.
big band. So they
Yeah.
all headed to the next town, city, wherever she was going
Yeah.
next. And her wife came and they did 2 back-to-back shows. Now, we love Brandi. Brandi is another artist that I blast in
Yes.
my gallery in Bayfield. However, when the women came on Sunday, I just want to tell you what the vibe was like, right? Sunday in Bayfield, it's a sunny summer day. It's great. 10 o'clock, my store opens. We're having a pretty normal day from 10 to, let's just say, 1 in the afternoon. And all of a sudden, there is a vibration. I am not kidding you, a physical vibration that starts to happen. And the women arrived in
Oh my
Bayfield
gosh.
from everywhere to
Yes.
see this show. And girlfriends, moms and daughters, men. It was amazing. And Bayfield just turned into this flood of positive,
Mhm. Talk about hospitality.
exciting
Yeah.
energy. And I was like, oh, well, this is a first for me. Not that it's not busy there. It's busy and high vibes all the time, but this was next level.
Mhm.
And the women came. And the women came to Lake Superior Scandinavian, and we were going to all buy concert earrings. And they were just buying earrings and laughing and sharing with each other. And it was such great energy. And I have told this to the Big Top marketing person because I
Yes.
said what Big Top Chautauqua and what some of these artists can do for our local
Yes.
Yep.
economy. But I ended up going to the show
Oh,
on
so cool.
Monday
Mhm.
and had almost the repeat day on Monday because all those ladies then left
Mhm.
and this other
New
crew
group.
came in on Monday. And I was at Big Top Chautauqua with 2 of my girlfriends. And I'm literally shouting, "Hey, girl, woo!" Like wearing our
wearing your
concert
earrings.
earrings. And it was just amazing.
That's awesome.
I was with my best friends.
Oh.
I had a couple glasses of wine and we were singing to Brandi and we were crying and we were holding hands. And it was just like the most amazing thing in the world. And that is just a story about what a brick and mortar can do differently than just an online jewelry company,
Mhm.
right? It brings
Yes.
people together. We're telling stories. We're sharing friendship with each other. We're
Mhm.
supporting entrepreneurs and women-owned businesses
Mhm.
and like high-fiving about it.
But kudos to you for like creating an environment where everyone feels safe to
Yes.
be that way,
Mhm.
right? To be their true authentic self and to bring their girlfriends
Mhm.
in and bring their kids in and their
Mhm.
husbands in, and it's a vibe, right?
It
It's really a great
such
shop.
positive energy.
Yeah.
And really, is it successful? It really is.
I'm so
From
happy for
so
you.
many different aspects
Yeah.
of my life, right? I mean, we have to be successful financially, but It is literally mentally
Yeah.
one of the best things I've ever done.
I love
and
that.
that was because I was brave. I was brave
Yes.
when I was scared, and I was courageous, and I took a leap of faith.
You followed your
And
gut.
I did. I followed my gut, and I've said this to Monique because we share this about our self-thought about ourselves,
Yes.
is that I would bet on me
Yes.
every time.
Yes. I love that.
Monique taught me that.
I think Beyonce said that. So
Oh, did
let's
she?
give it to Queen Bee. But
I just go ahead and attribute to Monique every
Monique.
time. But
Yeah,
No,
it's
I don't know
Monique.
about that.
I don't know.
Well,
but
I don't know when
I
she
would
said
bet
it.
on myself every
Yeah.
time.
I know, right?
I just will never let myself down.
I know.
Right. And when you
Mhm.
have done that grind for so long and then you get to do it for something that you love and care about and have ownership over, it's not work. You don't work a day in your life when you can apply that and bet on yourself. It's such a different experience.
So
and
true.
that's something that unless you take that entrepreneurial leap, you won't ever really truly understand. And it isn't for everybody. I think that
Mhm.
that is true. Like some people, that is not where their joy is going to come from. But you or I or Monique,
Yes.
like we are built for this. And when you get there and you're operating at your zone of genius, it never feels like work. It
Mm-mm.
really, and when it does start to feel like work, then you reevaluate and you adjust. And that's something that we also talk about in Mastermind is like, the journey is not over till it's over. And just because something is your current zone of genius doesn't mean it also can't evolve and change. We are just constantly evolving
So
beings.
true.
But you know the signs, right? You now know the signs of like, not serving me like it used to. Maybe I could adjust or pivot. And when you learn the tools to make those changes, sometimes subtly, sometimes, dramatically, you can continue to live in that zone. And it's just so cool to like see your story from meeting you like in the midst of before you even left Duluth to where you are today. Like you're so settled in this. And I think that's what's really cool too. Like we were working together 2 years ago where you were like just a year under your belt in the store, kind of figuring it out. And now you just have this sense of like calm and settled and rooted that is beautiful. And so it's just so cool to see.
I agree. There's a couple things about your jewelry that are unique.
Yep.
It's the price point. You can get them online and you have subscription boxes. Can you tell us a little bit about that so that our listeners know how to find you and purchase these amazing I guess like statement pieces, right?
Yes. Well, I have everything. I really try to, and as I've evolved, have a little something for everybody.
I agree you do.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, yes. So number one, my earrings are hypoallergenic and nickel free.
Mhm.
And for a lot of women, way more than I ever knew, suffer from this. And I thought that this was unique to me, and it is certainly not.
Mm-mm.
And so none of my jewelry has any crappy stuff in it that's going to make your ears hot and itchy and
Right.
oozy and gross. So that's number one. So you can feel confident in that. The second thing is my earrings and necklaces and bracelets and other things are all $39.
That is like nothing like that's such a value.
So I am the $39 store. People cannot believe it. I say
Agreed.
the same thing over and over again. And honestly, that sounds crazy. But when people come in, I always welcome them the same way. Welcome to my store. Everything in here is nickel-free and hypoallergenic. And believe this or not, everything you see is $39. So you are not going to see pricing on anything. What? It's
Mhm.
the $39 store.
It's awesome.
So I've done that from the beginning. From the very first pair of earrings that I sold to a friend.
Oh, wow.
I
didn't
sold
know
them
that.
at that price point. So I started there, went to markets, always $39, and I still continue that on.
It's brilliant. I think it's really brilliant that in a sea of, a crowded marketplace of people making earrings or
Mhm.
earrings that can be bought, mass produced, like
Or necklaces.
if you need
right?
to find a piece of jewelry, like you can find it. Where you have figured out your differentiators, I think is a brilliant business
Mhm.
move, right? Like you are landing at a price point that works for you and works for your customers because they're going to see something on either side of that.
Yes.
But you hit it right at like, I could spend that on those earrings. Like the quality is there, the design is there, like all those factors. And it's a price point that they can swallow. Boom. And then just removing the like, but what about this? What about that? Like having to choose based on price. It's just it's a simple shopping experience. I think that you arrived at that and it's so not what you typically would see in a jewelry case. And that differentiator is enormous for you. I love it. I've loved it from the first time I heard that about what you were doing. And I think it's like, it's just something that I can see in you and always have like that natural entrepreneur of being able to evaluate your market and figure that out and stick to it. Brilliant.
Yeah, it is. Especially in a town like Bayfield, or if you go to other highly like tourism driven small towns.
It's important.
I think that artists should charge for their work, and that is for sure. However, sometimes you get priced out, or you have so much money to spend, and you want to buy a few different things, and not just spend all of it on one item.
Right.
And sometimes I think that that's okay. But what I often hear is people will buy 2 pairs.
Yes.
Because they'll be deciding between 2 or 3 or 4.
And or they buy earrings and a necklace that matches.
Absolutely.
Right.
And that they feel like that's an accessible price
It
point.
is.
And I have customers from 5-year-old girls, 3-year-old girls, whoever's got their ears pierced, to 100-year-old women that buy my earrings. And so the other thing that has evolved even more is I don't want to wear the same pair of earrings every day. I don't want to wear the same design every day.
Right.
And so I have everything from tiny little studs to big statement earrings like I'm wearing today, leather, cork, mixed metals. And so that's been really, really fun. I do a lot of gold. I'm a gold girl.
Yeah, I am
but I
too.
do silver as well.
Yeah.
And I actually do stainless steel because that is the metal that works for me. And I really, at the end of the day, I make earrings that I want to wear, and not one thing on my floor at my store or online I would not wear or do not wear. And so I do like simple shapes. Even the earrings I'm wearing today, even though they're statements, they're very clean lines. And that is a Scandinavian design that I really love. And if you come to my home, you'll see that as well. And that I like the use of color, and I like the use of just simple shapes to make something amazing. But things change, trends change. And so it's important for me to stay with that. What was popular 5 years ago changed and changes and always comes back as well.
Yes.
So true.
It is.
Yes.
And I'm a fashion girl. So I just keep up and see what's going on and see what people want. And the really nice thing about working in the store too is I get instant feedback.
Yes.
And I can see what's selling and what's maybe a little long in the tooth, and then I make adjustments on that. Another thing that I've done to diversify is subscription boxes.
Yes. Tell about this, because I can tell you this came directly out of her mastermind experience. So I'm excited for you to share this story.
Yes. So one of the challenges in Bayfield is that it is seasonal.
Yes.
No matter how you shake it, it is very, very busy in the summer and the fall, and very, very quiet in the wintertime. We do everything we can to get more people to come in the winter, but it's a quiet time in Bayfield, and it's also a time of rest. That's another subject, that it's okay to like have a quiet time. But I wanted to still stay busy and continue to bring that revenue in the winter months. And directly from this mastermind, I think we were just, I don't know,
I think one of the other participants maybe mentioned something
They
about.
did. They're like, you have to do a
Yes.
subscription box. And
I even remember it was you.
I didn't. I gave the name.
The name. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
See,
but
I think Mariah came up with
No, no,
subscription
it
box,
was-
and
it
you
was,
came up with the name, or somebody else.
Somebody else.
It doesn't
Okay.
matter.
Yeah.
It was so exciting. I'm like, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
It just naturally, organically, kind of
it
like
did.
happened.
Flowed.
Yeah, and you just took it and ran.
I did. And so Monique said, I think it should be called Scandi Candy.
And put candy because I like candy.
Yes.
So good.
So they come in these really cute pink on
Mhm.
brand with my colors and my vibe. Pink box with pink raffia paper in it and a different pair of earrings. You can either choose monthly or quarterly. And you can choose leather cork designs or you can choose mixed metal designs. And you can also choose what metal you like. So if you're a gold person,
Mhm.
that's all you want to wear, you choose gold. If you're a silver person, that's all you want to wear, you choose silver. Or you can choose mix and you'll get a little bit of both. And then you get some saltwater taffy. That is from the adorable store down the road.
It's really good too.
It is great.
Mhm.
Yes. So
Yum.
you get your 3 little pieces of little treats
Mhm.
every month or every quarter. And it has been a huge success.
And
I'm
it's hel-
so happy to hear that.
I know.
Same. I love that it's helped bridge a time when you didn't, have like people coming in the store. It was another way for you to still stay in front of your clients and for people to get something fresh and like fun.
And I remember too, you were having so many people visit you in the summer
Mhm.
and love your stuff, but they weren't from there. Like they're not from Bayfield. They go back to wherever, Chicago, Minneapolis, Duluth. And but they connected with you. They connected with you in that in-store experience. And you knew they could still be your buyer, but were they really going to just go to your website? Would they remember it? Like,
Right.
remember we were thinking about ways to, like, even in the store, tell them, hey, there's a way we can still work together and stay in touch and like make, if you have these people that are loving your brand, they can still continue to support it. And there was that perfect bridge between just say, oh, go to the website. Like, you lose people when they do that. But if they're committing to a subscription or they're committing to,
Mhm.
Buy from you on a monthly or quarterly basis, like they become your brand ambassadors in the world. Now they can refer other people to you.
Absolutely. And it's a discount. It's like a
Yes.
smart
Yes.
buy.
Agreed.
So it's a deep discount. So when all of my earrings are $39, if you do quarterly, it's $35 and I pay for shipping,
Wow.
which shipping these days is about $5 or
Oh,
$6.
yes.
Yes.
So and then if you do it monthly, it's only $30.
Wow.
So it's really, if you did it monthly, it's like getting 5 free pairs of earrings
Yes.
a year
Wow.
because of the savings. And so
And you can give them
it's-
as gifts if you know what I mean.
Oh,
if
you can
Yes.
order them to,
Right.
your sister-in-law.
Right.
You can say, here's your Christmas gift. You place the order, but there's a recipient. And
Right.
so I have a lot of people that
Give 'em as
order
gifts.
for gifts. And since Mother's Day is coming up, and I don't know when this is going to air, but Mother's Day is a good time to buy this.
Yes.
Valentine's Day, I always get a really big push. I tell guys, I'm like, as they're leaving the store, and I've connected with their partner or whatever. I'm like, she wants that.
Yeah.
So just
Brilliant.
Christmas gift, holiday
Yeah.
gift, whatever it is.
One of the things too that is this in your store that says earrings always fit?
They do.
I was going to say that.
Oh, were you? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no,
Yes, yeah.
I love that you brought that up.
Yeah.
Yes, and I also put it on my new earring cards.
Oh,
so
I love that.
yes, they do.
Mhm.
They always.
You don't have to
They always-
worry. You don't have to worry.
No.
What
Yeah.
size? Yeah.
I give your earrings as gifts all the time.
Mhm.
One last Christmas, I got them for all of the women in my life. And my mom, the pair that I gave her, she wears them, I swear, every day. And she went to Florida that year and she's like, you cannot believe the compliments I get on these earrings. They're simple. Your signature like circle,
Yeah.
gold circle with the little
Scandi signature.
silver
Mhm.
bar. And they go with everything. She commented, they don't bother my ears.
Yes.
And they get everyone's attention. Like people notice these earrings. So it's so fun when you give them as gifts and then the person you gifted them to shares with you how much they love them. It's just like it's the best feeling for the gift giver. And then to think, and I know the earring designer,
Yeah,
and I supported
right.
a small business in buying these.
You're right.
Like it's such a good, it's just a feel good product.
Yeah. They're light. They're comfortable.
Mhm.
The one thing I think you sent me was, we call it Lake Superior Scandinavian in the wild.
Oh, I love
so
that.
Yes.
I will get photos
Yes.
from people. And I think you sent me one.
Yeah.
You were like in Greece or I can't remember
We
where
were
you
in
were.
Rome.
Oh,
You were
yes.
in
Yeah, we were
Rome.
together in Rome.
And, they'll share that and I'll ask, can I share that on my page? But yeah, Lake Superior Scandinavian in the wild.
Yeah.
I have a friend and a customer who is from Duluth, and she's so lovely. And she's just been on a huge journey. And she was just in Egypt, and she sent me pictures. I think it was Egypt. And there they were.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And I just like, I love that, to see them all over the world when, this was just my little brain creation. And to
Yes.
see them, it's like, it's so rewarding. And it's so fun to see that women feel good,
Mhm.
and it didn't break the bank for them to buy them. And, I feel like there's more to come with this business. It's interesting, I don't know. I look at a calendar year, right? And so this is the spring, feels like spring. This is like sprinter, what we call up here,
Yes.
spring and winter. But I can feel that summer and
coming.
spring is coming.
Right. At some point.
And so really should be my time to more like hunker down and like get ready for this busy
Mhm.
season. But instead of that, my brain is blooming. And I am just feeling like something is percolating and that there is some growth. And I'm not sure exactly what that looks like. But, I'm always dreaming.
True to an entrepreneur.
I am.
can never
I'm a
stop.
dreamer.
Yes,
and
I love
I'm a
it.
doer.
Yes, you are.
But most of all, I'm a dreamer who does.
Yes.
And so I'm just not afraid to really do it if it feels right. And so it's always exciting to feel like maybe there's the next step is happening.
And let's be honest too. You have other businesses as well.
I do.
Right. And very successful. And so this isn't your only thing, but this seems to be your passion. Would you say that?
I think it feels the most like me.
Oh, okay.
I do have other businesses and other businesses that serve me in other ways. This business serves me really creatively.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the other businesses that I have, one is a no-brainer because it's a vacation rental. My little hospitality heart just slipped
couldn't
right
stop.
into another revenue stream that we
Had
own, a
to.
vacation rental. So if you come to Bayfield, you can stay.
Mhm.
Just connect with
Beautiful.
me on that. Beautiful Lakeview, 10 acres. Bring your dog. Anyways, so there's that. But then I have another business that fulfills a different side, which is my business side. I have a strong business acumen from coming from hospitality and working within budgets and creating budgets. And I like that hustle too.
Yes, it's like we've talked about this. I have two sides of my brain. Like I love spirituality and I love business. So you kind of have to feed both or one. I don't know. It's weird when I've done just one thing. I'm never really that happy. I need both.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, totally. And sometimes I feel like I'm switching gears a lot.
Mhm.
So, right. So but I'm able to do that. And I'm wondering if that's just the experience and background of working in hospitality and constantly changing gears all the time. One guest is different than the next guest, and you know what I mean? And so I'm okay with that. Maybe I'm going to crash and burn. I mean, I remember reading the book Burnout that you
Yes,
guys talk about, and I have that. And I have it on
We will be
audio
watching
tape.
you to make
Yes.
sure.
But I sense that enough about myself where I'm like, whoa. But I have a growing family and I have a certain way that I want to live. And the two businesses serve me in that way. And that is okay. And that was a big transition to say, you know what? It's okay to thrive.
Yes, I love that.
Oh my gosh. There's the quote of the episode right there.
Yes.
It's okay to thrive, and it's okay to take big leaps, big risks to get to thriving, and that it's worth it.
We
Like,
encourage
it's
it.
so worth it. Can you think,
Yes.
like, imagine your life had you not had, gone through those transitions and taken those big leaps. Like, I mean, you never know, sliding doors. You can't know. But what you can know is here and now you're thriving and
Mhm.
you love what you've created. You've invested in yourself, bet on yourself, and built a beautiful life for you, yourself, and your family. Like, what's not to love?
It feels pretty good.
Mhm.
It feels good. And you know what I did is created my own security.
I love that.
created my own safety. So that big scary part about stepping away from a job that is a constant paycheck and has benefits and all of that, I have found a way to do all the things. And right now it works for me. Will it in a few years? I don't know, but we'll pivot.
Everything's figure outable.
Everything.
Yeah. It's just so fun to think back to all the different chapters of your journey that we've been able to be on with you, and
Mhm.
to just know, like you said, you're a dreamer, and that does. Like, when Cara would leave a meeting with a new idea that was sort of like a Scandi Candy
Yeah,
idea,
right.
man, there were signs
was done.
immediately
It was
that she
done.
was putting this into place. How fulfilling for someone to just instantly grab and do. Like, that's how I feel about the business ideas when I believe in them, is like they're happening the next day. Like, when I decide to execute on something, there's no stopping it. The timeline, like, nobody believes that it can happen in that amount of time. And I'm like, I don't see why not,
Right.
right? Like,
Right.
I don't see a reason not to. And I think that comes in my own experience, also in hospitality. Like, entrepreneurialism and hospitality are very, like, the same person can thrive in either one, because it's that having to be on, that having to be customer focused, that
Mhm.
having to be, like, just constantly pivoting and problem solving. That is the life of an entrepreneur, and that is the life of somebody in hospitality. And so I think I was entrepreneur in hospitality. You were hospitality, became entrepreneur, but those are very good, like, synchronistic jobs or ways of life. And I think about just like what you can do with it when then you apply your own dreams, and that's what you did. And now the sky's the limit. Now that you have that set of tools and that resilience for bravery and taking leaps, like, phew, Cara, like, we just need to find the next thing, and you're gonna fly.
I know. It's amazing. It's just so exciting.
Yeah, I'm really proud of you, having like watched you, that you push through to your zone of genius in so many areas. And you should be proud of yourself, more importantly, right? Because not everybody can do that. The bravery that you speak about, you can be an entrepreneur and a doer, but you still can lack that. You can play small, so you didn't play small. So congratulations.
Thank you.
So
I don't know
inspiring.
if I have it in me to be small.
No.
I mean, you
Good.
could have, my mom, if she was sitting right here, she'd be like,
Nope.
she was born. My mom does say that you were born with your glass half full. Like, I am a truly optimistic person.
Yes.
Which in this time of our world right now is not easy.
No.
Yes.
And it's just not easy. I don't know what else to say about it. But I do see the world with the thought pattern of, how do I make this better?
Mm-hmm.
And right now, not to talk about everything that's going on, but what can I control in my world, in my small spaces?
We just did an episode about this, actually,
Mhm.
Exactly.
because we feel like
it's
everyone's dealing with
growing. It's like working from the inside out, right? So you're in this small place,
Yes.
and who can you snowball effect to make others feel okay and feel safe? And how can you create a space that feels safe? And there's a lot of privilege that comes with that. And so it's just, this could be a whole nother episode.
Agreed.
Of how do we survive
that. Mm-hmm.
so we can thrive?
That's literally the episode that we
just
recorded just
recorded,
before
yeah.
this. And that was exactly it, because all you have is today. All you have is what you can control, your nuclear family, and what snowballs out from there. And so if you focus in on that,
Mhm.
you will be able to feel like you are contributing to whatever it needs, whatever you need to be doing to thrive.
Yeah, when the
Because
chaos
that looks
happens,
different
yes. Mhm.
in the world every day.
And we
This point.
talked a lot about grounding, being you
Yeah,
know, and being in your own autonomy, your own solidarity, right? Because you're right. How can I contribute? But I can't maybe contribute on a global scale or even national scale, or, you know, just contributing within my family unit or myself or my community.
I wanted to go back to you mentioned the book Burnout that we use as just this like
Mhm.
seminal force in our mastermind group.
Yes.
And I'd love for you to share, like, having had the experience working with us, like, do you now feel like you have tools in your toolbox to help you deal with times of burnout, or when you may, feel that approaching? What does Cara do when she's sensing a little bit of burnout?
Well, I did mention this before. I'm an extrovert that needs time by myself.
Mhm.
Right.
And when I mean time by myself, I think we've talked about this. I mean, I'm going into my bedroom, I'm shutting the door, and I'm climbing into bed
Yeah.
with my cat,
Yep.
my newly adopted cat.
So cute, by
Wait, the cat is
way.
staying with you?
Yes.
Cara also like fosters a ton of animals.
Yeah.
I
So
do.
I'm always
'Cause of
invested in
time.
the
You have so
fosters.
much time. Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
This cat came to me sick, almost dying, and we
Aw.
have anyways, he stays. So
Aw.
sometimes I just need to crawl into bed with my cat
Yep.
or a book. Even my phone, like seriously, Pinterest. I am still a Pinterest girl. I don't
Yep.
care. That is my like feel good. There's no politics on there.
No
There's
kidding.
nothing, and I can just create a vision board, like a digital vision board, really quick or something. And I just need that. So, I know myself enough to know that it's okay. I jokingly say that I have a toxic trait, and my toxic trait is that I say yes to everything.
Mhm.
Relatable.
And when I'll say yes to my own things, right? That's one thing. But I get approached because I think of just who I am and who I come across or I come into the world as, is that people ask me for things like, will you be the PTO president at school? Will you be the parent teacher organization president? And I said, yes. What? So I run the PTO as the president. So they come to me and they say, well, you played soccer and your son plays soccer and you show up and you're involved with your, you might help coach or whatever. Will you be the board president? We're looking for a new board president. Yes. Will you? You foster animals. You work with our Humane Society and you help place a lot of animals, because half the time I'm adopting our fosters out to my friends so that I know where they are and that I know that they stay safe. Will you sit on the board of directors for the Shawamigan Humane Society? Yes. So I end up, and I joke that it's my toxic trait, but I do say yes to a lot of stuff. And so I am realizing that it's okay to say no. And I do say no to things as well.
Good.
So, but the things that I do say yes to, I am passionate about, or Sam, my son, is involved in. And for me, I'm like, if I'm already showing up, I'm already dropping them off. I'm already organizing the popsicles
Makes
at the end of
sense.
practice. I'm already doing whatever. Well, I might as well make decisions too, because frankly, you need good people in volunteer positions. And so, but I am aware of knowing when my nervous system is about to sputter and churn into butter.
Good.
And then I just crawl into bed.
Okay. That's your trick.
Yeah. For like an hour and I'm good. I mean, it's like plug myself into the wall.
Yeah.
Like I'm like a phone
Plug
charger
myself
and then I'm
into the
okay.
wall.
Yeah.
I do. And then I'm fine. Like I don't need a lot of time, but I do need nobody to talk to me.
I feel that. I feel that as an also extrovert.
Yes.
That as I've gotten older and busier and said yes to all the things, like I need the plug-in time where don't ask me one more question. Don't talk to me. Just let my brain settle however it needs to, whether it's the phone or trashy TV or whatever.
Right.
But Yeah, but it doesn't have to be long. I think that's what is different when you're an extrovert who's recharging versus like, I don't need prolonged alone time. In fact, that's going to spiral me in the
Oh
other
my gosh, it's the
direction,
worst.
right?
I talk about this a lot, how I have to say no to something I want to say yes to
Yeah.
a lot because I have the same problem. Yes, 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 yes. And then, right, you have 20 million companies and
Next thing you know.
no time.
Yeah.
Well, there's some guilt with that too, because for me too, if I overcommit too much, then I have guilt if I'm not giving it my all. Well, there's no way to give it your all.
There isn't.
So what I have learned too is to delegate.
That's awesome.
That's been a learned thing for me. You pay an employee, you pay a team of people. Why are you doing it?
right.
Yeah.
It's okay to delegate that and not feel guilt over that. Right?
Love it.
Parent-teacher
100%.
organization. I can't run the bounce house bash this year or whatever. Like, I'm going to need some people to step up because I'm in a busy time or I'm in a busy season or whatever it is. And to ask for help. It's okay.
All of these are things that we try to help the women in our mastermind group to come to the revelation of, that we are always also trying to remember in our own
Yes.
lives. But those are some of the types of things that, like, you just need to be told it's okay. You
Permission.
Need to
You need to get permission. Right.
You need to be among other women to have this conversation, to realize like, it's okay to say no. It's okay to ask for help. Why has it been so ingrained in us, in our society, like societally programmed to think that you have to be guilty for that? And so it's a deprogramming that we are working on. And it's
Yeah.
so beautiful to see when it's working. And it's
Yeah.
working for
I
you.
think as women, I'm also like a recovering Catholic. I grew up Catholic, went to Catholic school here in Duluth. Just shout out to all my Holy Rosary alums. But I always say I'm a recovering Catholic because you do have, I mean, there's guilt. There's guilt about everything. And I mean, screw it. Maybe it's me being in my mid 40s that I won't say the swear word, but I just give zero Fs these days about certain things that you just are like, well, I can't,
Well, I think there comes a time and point in our lives when we want to be happy, when we tried to do everything, we proved ourselves, we did the things the way that everyone said, and maybe it wasn't in alignment with how we are as a person. And then you realize like, I don't have forever. Why don't I just try to live authentically to myself so I can be happy? And it's okay that your version of doing it this way is the way you think it should be done. Mine isn't. So F off, right? Like it kind of gets to that point. You just want to be happy. You want to have peace. You want to have contentment and joy. And I think that's why like women in 40s, 50s kind of just have this aha, like I'm not going to be here forever. I better start doing things for me.
Yeah, one of the things that I did this year too is I prioritized my health.
I love that.
I remember at the beginning of one of our masterminds, I think we were in this building in a different room, and we were talking about goals or whatever we were, and I was like prioritizing my health. Well, I didn't that year. I didn't have it in me. I just didn't. And this year I did.
I understand.
And physically I feel better.
Good.
Mentally I feel better.
Amazing.
Another whole show could be on perimenopause. And I know it has been. And I think that we've talked to one of our other friends in our mastermind.
She's really,
Dr. Chrissy, who I reach out to constantly. I mean, I have relationships too with all these people that we were in this mastermind with. I can reach out to any of them via text for whatever reason. Like it was a friendship built, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And a built-in support system. It's like your class that graduated,
Yes.
It's like, and you might not talk to them for a long time, but then when you see them, it's amazing. But so I prioritized my own well-being, and I needed to do that.
Well, you look great.
Thanks.
So good job
Well,
prioritizing your health.
Yeah, prioritizing your health, both mentally and physically.
It's a thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And high time that we do that, right? Because again, if we're not functioning well mentally and physically, how do we even get what we get done? It's kind of incredible, right? Like imagine how on fire you are if you feel good too.
Oh my God. I always say I could be president of the United States if I just slept and I mean, not president. Maybe I'd be like Secretary of State.
Kara, I would put you in any of those positions right now.
A lot of us would.
Oh my God, I know. I'm like, do I run? What happened? What do I do?
Right? That is.
I'll just be the PTO president this year.
You're in training.
You said something big was coming. So
Yes. Yeah. No, I'm not. The one funny thing about me is I know myself enough that I don't like criticism.
Oh.
That's one thing. Like I could not be I can take criticism from a friend or like, you know what I mean? Like from somebody I have a relationship. But like some like criticism from some jerk online because
it'd be hard.
People are like, you should run for city council. I mean, never.
Yeah.
No, like that is not. So I think it's as important to know like what you want to do is like what you don't want to do.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
that is it. Like never. No way.
It's such a gift to know what you don't want.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I've done a lot of things that I'm like, that's not for me. And then I quit. It's okay to quit too.
Yes.
It's okay to walk away.
Well, Cara, you have shared so many life lessons today.
Inspiring.
From bravery and just the courage to take the leap to, not listening to the shame or blame, being able to quit, like all of it, like being in your presence today has just been such a reminder of like all the work that you've done and how deserving you are of all the success that's coming your way. So I hope that people listening enjoyed this conversation with Cara and just like put yourself, in her place and think like, what am I not doing bravely right now? And how could that get me into my zone of genius? And then go buy her earrings, whether you're in Bayfield in the actual gallery, which again is like the cutest place ever, or you're online looking and shopping.
Yes.
We can all vouch that they're amazing products, but we just want to celebrate like what you have built and what you like, what's to come. Again, like there's no end to the possibility for what you can continue to create.
Thank you.
Is there anything you want to share in parting words for our listeners?
I think my biggest, I don't know if it's advice or what I would say to another woman who was thinking about making a transition or taking a leap is to trust yourself and know that if you truly want to do this in your heart, that you will not let yourself fail.
I love it.
You cannot fail. And if for some reason you think, oh, this wasn't what it was cracked up to be, then just move on to the next thing. It's okay.
So beautiful. Perfect note to end on. Thank you, Cara, for joining us today.
Yes, thank you.
It has been a long time coming to get to sit with you and talk about your story. So thank you for sharing. And I hope that anybody who listened to this just enjoyed all of the truths that were shared. And we appreciate everybody listening and joining us this week on the Heart and Soul Podcast.
Cheers, friends. You've just finished another episode of the Heart and Soul Podcast. We hope that you've enjoyed the show, and if you've loved it, we would love if you'd leave us a 5-star review on whatever platform you're listening. You can find links to leave that review in the show notes, where you'll also find other resources that we reference on our show. And if you think a friend could find value in today's episode or any future episodes, please share this episode with them on social media. This is one of the only ways the podcast can organically grow, and we just can't wait to connect with you and all of your besties. You can also find Monique and I on our many social media platforms or our websites, and we're going to leave links to those in the show notes as well. Thank you for listening. We look forward to sharing our hearts and souls with you again next time. With Heart, I'm Mariah.
And with Soul, I'm Monique.